Friends, so in this video we will discuss about the call by reference or call by value in the programming language. So what is the exact meaning and what is the purpose of this call by value and call by reference, and also we will discuss how this will be useful and how this is implemented in the Java. Okay, so in most of the programming languages we will call the methods which are available in other classes or other files. Okay, so for calling those methods we need to pass the parameters which are required in that method, right? So if you want to call a method, we need to pass the required parameters to that method. So based on the type how we pass the values to that method, there are two, it is classified into two types. So those two types are called as call by value or call by reference. Okay, now the first one is call by value. So in this call by value, what we do is, so when you are calling a method, we will pass the values as a parameter. It means you are trying to call a method in another class or other file. So while calling that method, we will pass the values, direct values as the parameter. Okay. So example, if you see here, this is a C language code. Okay, so it has a one main method. In this main method, it has two variables declared, int x, int y, and we are printing the values x and y. And next, we are calling the swap method. So the swap method, it will, what it is doing, it is swapping these two values n1 and n2. Okay, and again it is printing once the swap is completed and it is closed. Now here in C program, what happens is when this int x is equal to 20 is executed, what happens is this 20 is stored at a address location. Okay, and this variable x will contain the address of that location and some other info. Okay, so in C language. So here now what is the call by value and how it is used here? So when we say call by value, here, while calling the swap method, we are passing the value directly. Okay, it means we are passing 20 here. Okay, so we won't directly pass 20 here. We will make a copy of this 20 and we will pass the 20 here. Okay, so directly we won't pass this x is equal to this 20. We will create a copy of this 2068 and we will pass to this swap method. So when copy of this 2068 is passed to the swap method, uh, here in this int n1 n2, in this n1 n2 it won't contain the direct to this xy values. It will contain the copy of these values. Now whatever you perform any operation on these copied values, it will not reflect in this x and y. Okay, so you do addition, subtraction, increment, decrement, anything, any perform you do here, that will not reflect in x and y, because this n1 n2 are the copy, just copies of this x and y. Okay, so here after execution of this program, if you observe, before calling the swap, we are displaying x and y values, printing. So when this x and y printed, we saw 20 and 68. So x as 20 and y as 68. And now after calling the swap method, still you can see x as value 20 and y as 68. Right? Swap means what it is doing, it is swapping x with value y and y with value x. But the output, if you see here, it didn't swap. It is directly showing 20 and 68 because here we are using call by value. It means we are passing, we are creating copy of this value and passing it to the method. And in this method, whatever operation performed on this copied values will be present in this copied values only. This that will not affect the original values. Okay, so this is call by value. So here make a copy and of values and pass, and actual value in the caller method will not change. Okay, so this is the call by value. And same way we have call by reference. So same example, if you see here, same example, we have n1 n2, same printing, we are swapping, again printing, and in the swap method we are swapping the values. Now here the difference here is, in the call by value you are passing direct to this x value, okay, and here call by reference you are telling ampersand n1, okay. So this ampersand means address of this n1, okay. So what is call by reference is, when you say call by reference, it means by calling a method we will pass the reference or address as a parameter, okay. So in call by value we will pass directly value as a parameter, but in call by reference we will pass the address or reference as a parameter, okay. Now here n1, when you initialize n1 is equal to 20, this n1 will contain the address of address where this 20 is stored, right? Okay. Now when this address is passed, it means you are not directly passing this 20, you are passing the address where this 20 is stored, okay. So same way this n2 address we are passing. Now here this n1 n2 will contain the addresses of this 20 and 68. So when you perform any operation on these addresses, this operation will directly reflect in the memory, okay. So directly it will reflect in the memory. So when it reflects in the memory, this n1 n2, these two will contain the address of that memory, right? So automatically it will reflect in this n1 and n2, okay, right? So here in this call by value we are directly passing values, making copy of these values 20, 68, and if any operation performed on that, it will not reflect here, because here copy of 20 is passed, and if you perform anything it won't reflect in the actual memory, right? But here when you say this address passing the reference, it will get the address, and whatever operation is performed, that will reflect directly in the address, and this n1 will contain the address of this particular memory. That's why whatever affected by this operation will directly reflect in n1 and n2, okay. So here before swap we are printing n1 and n2, it is 20 and 68, and in the swap method we are swapping n1 and n2, and after swap we again printed the n1 n2. Then if you see here 68, 62 got swapped. It means when you call a method using call by reference, whatever operation or anything performed in that method or on the variables that are passed will automatically reflect in this calling method, okay. So same way you can see the output here, okay. So the main difference is call by value we are directly making copy of this value and we are passing. Because of that it will not reflect in these values whatever the operation performed in the method, but here we are passing the, in the call by reference we are passing the address of the this variable. So as we are passing the address, whatever operation performed, that will directly affected in the memory, and that memory changes will directly reflect in this n1 and n2, because this n1 and n2 contains the address, okay. This is the call by value and call by reference. Now so Java has only call by value, but indirectly it will also support the call by reference. It means in Java, uh, whole Java process will work based on this call by value only, but indirectly it will support this call by reference. So we will see with an example. So here, this is call by value example in Java. So here we have main method. Same we have, I have declared two variables A and B. So uh, in Java is not like same like C. So in Java, when you declare int A equal to 10 and int B is equal to 20, so these two are primitive data types. So this A and B will directly contain the value, this 10 and 20, not the address of the value, address where this 10 and 20 is stored. So this int A B will directly contain the values 10 and 20. And in this we have add method. So this add method, we are passing A B values, and we are adding A B value and we are assigning to A. Okay. Now here same way in the call by value. So what I said, Java will directly have the call by value. So here I am passing A and B to this method. Now what happens when I do add, when I call this add method, it will create a copy of these values A and B. It means 10, 20 copy will be created and that copy will be passed here. Okay. So now this 10 and 20 are directly simple values, so directly it will pass 10 20 here. Now here I am doing addition A plus B and again I am assigning to A. Okay. Now when I do A plus B, this 10 plus 20 30 will be assigned to this A. It means we are assigning 30 to this value, and this value from where we got, from here we got. So what we may think, like, if this A is updated, then this A will be updated. So if this A will be updated, then this A should be updated, right? But it will not happen because we are passing the copy of this A and B here. So when this A is updated, this A will update, but this will not reflect in the caller method. That is the call by value uh, process. So whatever reflected in this A will not reflect in this A and B, because this is a copy of this A. Okay. Now this example, if I run, so here you can see, uh, so first we will call add method. So A will be 30 and I am printing A, so it will print 30. Okay. After that it came here, again it will print A value, so it is printing 10, right? So here you can clearly see whatever operation performed here, it is not reflected in this value A, because here we are passing copy of this 10 and this is called as call by value. Okay. So this call by value is clear. So throughout the Java programming we will have call by value only, but due to some process or property that Java has, it will also support the call by reference. So we will see how. So the same example, same kind of example I have created, but here instead of direct primitive values, I used non-primitive data type. So I have created a defined a class values, and it has two primitive data types A and B. Now if I want to use these values, I need to create object for this. So same way, so the logic is same, but here what I am doing, I have created object for this, and I have assigned values to A and B. Now here, when I create this object, what happens is, this new object will be created at some location in the heap memory, and the address of the heap memory will be stored in these values. Means the reference or address of the object which was created in the heap memory will be stored here in values. Okay. So here we are not storing direct these the 10 and 20 values, but here we are passing address. Address means what happens, these values will contain um, some some 200 or 300 memory location. It means this when this new is created, if this object is created at a memory location and thus that address is 200. So these values will contain this 200 address. And here we assign the values, and here we are calling this add method. So when this add method is called, in Java everything is called by value. So what we will do, we will create copy of these values. Okay, we will create copy of these values and we will pass that to this add method. And here as we are making copy of the values, so what is the value, for example 200. Now when you make copy of this value, it will be 200. So this values will contain 200, right? It will contain 200. Now this values will contain 200, and this is non-primitive data type. This values is non-primitive data type. So when we perform any operation on this non-primitive data types, that will directly reflect in the memory, because in these values we have the reference, right, memory address. And when I say value dot a equal to value dot a plus value dot b, what it will do, this will go to the memory, a heap memory, and it will go to this 200 address location, and it will get the object present at the 200 location, and on that object we are performing this operation. So whatever you perform here, it will automatically update in the memory location, right? So it will automatically update in the memory location. Now once this is completed, now it will come here to line number 12. Now these values will have the address, right, 200. Now whatever again you perform or you try to access the values present in this values object, it will go to this 200 location in the heap memory, and it will get the object and it will use here. But you have observed that here whatever you did changes, it is affected in the heap memory. And the same things when you call here, we are using again heap memory and getting. So indirectly whatever you perform here, those are reflecting in this caller methods. So this property, whatever you perform here, that will reflect in caller method. So this property is called as call by reference. Okay, now because of here you observe the call by reference is working, but the actual value what you are passing, you are making a copy of 200 and passing. So passing is the call by value. So whatever Java performs, it is call by value only. But because of this reference thing, call by reference is also supported in Java. So now if I run this application, you can see here while calling the add method, before this operation I have printed value a, and that value is 10. And now I updated or performed this operation, and after performing this operation again I am printing the value, then it will become 30, right? Because when I say values dot a, it will go to this memory location, and this 30 will be updated in the memory location. And here again when I say values dot a, again it will go to this memory location 200 and it will get the value, and in the memory location already 30 got updated, so it will take the 30 value, that is 30. Okay, so this is call by value and call by reference, and how it is implemented in the Java. Okay, so thank you.